I think as you look back, as a basketball coach, you've got to make a lot of decisions, and you have to make decisions quickly and process a lot of information quickly. And certainly, as I look back, that Friday where we were going to meet with the administration, I think I made a poor decision in how I handled that. If I could go back and do it again, I would have, had taken the meeting and been a little bit more forceful in getting that meeting. Because what happened after that is, anytime you get lawyers involved in things get drawn out.
Welcome. This is Tigers Roar. He is Jonathan Poche. I'm Jordy Hultberg. We are at Scoreboards, Sports Grill and Catering, and I've got sunglasses on. I don't know why I did that, but I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, you heard Will Wade, of course, SEC spring meetings taking place in Destin, Florida, the annual. We'll find out how much each school gets paid at the end of this thing. But Will Wade addressing the media for the first time since I think it was March the 7th, and admitting that I wish I had done some things differently.
Right, that song. I've done a lot of things different. One of my dad's favorites. Will Wade. Good to hear from Will Wade. It's like a familiar friend that you haven't heard from in a while.
I'm taken aback by the singing.
The karaoke's on Friday.
Karaoke's
tuning it up.
Yes.
Tuning it up.
Night, tomorrow night, karaoke on Friday. You can catch Jonathan. Early show at 7, second showing at 9. Absolutely. So we'll hear more from Will Wade today. We also know now that LSU will be, for it seems like another, I don't know how many years in a row, but it's been a long time. They did have one interruption, excuse me, when they did not host a regional, but they'll get underway on Friday. They're the number 1 seed, Arizona State number 2, Southern Miss number 3, and LSU will face Stony Brook, the 4th seed, Friday night at 6 o'clock. I've talked to some national baseball writers. They feel like this regional, the Baton Rouge Regional, is one of the 2 toughest regionals out of all of them across the country.
Very competitive. The teams are neck and neck. The Stony Brook matchup, a lot of LSU fans are familiar with Stony Brook, the Seawolves.
Yes.
2012, the Super Regional in Baton Rouge. They upset the Tigers on their way to a College World Series appearance. The Tigers looking to extend some vengeance.
I think what makes it so difficult, Arizona State's a very good number 2 seed, the leading home run hitting team in the country. But I think the fact that Southern Miss is a number 3 seed really amps up the strength of this regional. So as Paul Mainieri said, you just don't want to lose 2. You just don't lose 2, and then you go from there. And if LSU is successful in this regional and advances, they are matched up against the regional in Athens, Georgia. Of course, LSU in Athens has already played Georgia already this season in Athens. Georgia won 2 out of 3, but Paul Mainieri said a very competitive series, all 3 games separated by 2 runs or less.
The Tigers should have some pitching back.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing for the Tigers. The question last week was, did the Tigers do enough to be a host site for the regional and the SEC tournament? I mean, wow.
It was terrific.
What a tournament.
It was terrific.
All the walk-off games, the extra inning games.
The ending to the Auburn game, an ending I have never, ever witnessed before.
Right.
So LSU's got Eric Walker, they've got Cole Henry, and they've got Landon Marceau.
Yep.
As per typical Paul Mainieri, he says, we're going to come up with a quick decision, but we'll let everybody know on Thursday. There's mandatory practices at the box, LSU's from 10 to 11:15, and then they go on from there. And Paul Mainieri will address the media at that point, and we'll know. I've got a sneaky suspicion maybe a veteran, maybe Eric Walker gets to start. I don't know if he wants to put a true freshman in to start a regional, but we'll see.
Coming off that injury that Cole Henry had, he only pitched a couple innings in the tournament.
But Marceau's pitching better than anybody.
Right, Marceau did outstanding in the SEC tournament.
We'll see which direction. But look, they're healthy. Trent Vetmeyer is going to be back and good to go. No more Justin Hill, no more Nick Storrs. They're done for the season. But everybody else is good, ready to go. They're well rested. So it's baseball at the box in end of May, start of June. It's just a a tradition like the Masters, unlike any other.
Right.
Right?
You bring up Nick Storrs, and what a disappointing career it's been thus far for Mr. Storrs in the LSU uniform.
Has he pitched at all?
I think he had a couple appearances last year, none this year.
Yeah, right.
I mean, so what, 6'6", 6'7", guys throw his cheese.
Injury after injury after injury.
Came out of high school with injury and just could not get it right.
Yeah. All right, so we've got that in mind. Again, the SEC meeting's taking place in Destin, Florida. Our alcohol sales, they're going to be voted upon by the athletic directors. Then it'll go to the presidents. We'll see what happens along those lines. And news out of Destin, Ed Orgeron said everything is good with Kelvin Joseph. He's coming back. All those issues. Remember, that was a he said kind of a deal between he and his father.
Right. Definitely take away that man's Twitter for a little bit. He's happy with the Twitter fingers. Got to take a rest with it. Had LSU fans like, what's going on there?
Yeah. And for the first time since the game of the century, it appears that the LSU-Alabama game will not be a night game. The time slot for November the 9th, according to CBS, who came out and made some initial pairings as far as who's going to be on their network. They start off with Alabama at South Carolina the third week of the season. They're skipping the first 2 weeks. They didn't like any of the matchups. But the November 9th matchup, the time slot is a 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. Right. So no night game for LSU Alabama. It doesn't matter to me.
Kind of wondering if maybe the alcohol sales has something to do with the night game getting pushed up to the day game. Because I know they cut you off in the third quarter, but
somebody said, CBS said, when LSU can finally score a touchdown against Alabama, we'll put them on at night. Right. I didn't say that. CBS said that.
Yeah. Well, hey, they made a good point.
So anywho, so we've got that as well. So. Lots to talk about. We've got, what else we have? Saints?
Softball news, some Saints. Softball finished their season out in Minnesota with a tough loss in the Super Regional to the Gophers. Got some Saints OTA news. I also want to talk about the NBA playoffs. The final matchups all set.
Oh, how about the Pelicans, David Griffin and company meeting with Anthony Davis out in L.A. today, and they'll do it again. They'll continue their talks.
Right.
I don't know what Anthony Davis is going to do, but the fact that they are at least communicating to one another, albeit on the West Coast, not in New Orleans, that's okay. Davis is worth the effort. The fact that they're meeting and that the door is it's not wide open, but it's not shut either. That's all. That lends you to believe that there's a possibility, and the fact that the article that just came out about the Los Angeles Lakers and the dysfunction that continues to grow and grow and grow. That, to me, is a positive sign for the Pelicans and Anthony Davis.
To me, fire Rich Paul if you're Anthony Davis. Why would you try to convince Anthony Davis to go to the Lakers when it is so dysfunctional? Obviously, he knows. I mean, he's LeBron's agent, too. LeBron is well in the mix of all the inner goings of the Lakers. He had to know about it. If I'm AD, I'm looking for another agent, plain and simple.
That and the Houston Rockets say everybody's for sale. Everybody. So maybe Chris Paul can finally get reunited with his banana boat buddy and go back in time when David Stern said, no, that deal's not going to work. We're not sending you to the Lakers. You can go somewhere else. So he went to the Clippers, then the Rockets. He may end up with the Lakers, and that would be a good pairing for those two, but it's not enough to beat the Golden State Warriors.
They are the cream of the crop, and back in the finals one more time. The Toronto Raptors had a great series against the Milwaukee Bucks. It was Giannis against the Claw and Kawhi, and we'll see if Kawhi could somehow have some miracles happen and keep them in the series.
Doc Rivers says that Kawhi is the closest thing that we've seen to Michael Jordan. Mid-range game, defense. Yeah, I don't see a Scottie Pippen on the Raptors there. I just don't. Anyway, we'll take our first time out of the day when we come back live from Scoreboards Grill and Catering. Will Wade address the media. We'll hear more from him. Plus, the Tiger basketball team, they're coming back home. And I like what I hear. I like what I see. And we'll talk about, I know it's summertime. I know the regionals here, but LSU basketball takes center stage.
It's a big deal.
He's Jonathan Poche. I'm Jordy Helper. Take a look at what we have in store for you at Scoreboards Grill and Catering. All right, we got some wings that were set up here, so that's always a good thing. Tonight we've got this. Thursday night is a huge night here. Huge night. Bike night.
Bike night and live music, as you see on the screen right there. You have your lunch specials each and every day. Closed on Monday, but is open for private parties. If you want to rent out Scoreboards, it's a great space. A big bar, a big dining area in the back. But yeah, Thursday night's bike night. It's going to be a little bit different this week. You can see the flyer right there. Come out and check it out. Bike night starts early, but then they have live music, the Eagle 98.1.
Studio 4.
Studio 4, that's right.
Rockin',
Great live
baby.
music, some country, some classic rock. Live music, always a good thing.
Always
here
a good
at
thing.
Scoreboards. So come check it out if you haven't done so already. Do yourself a favor, come try the food, check out the atmosphere. It's family friendly, so don't be afraid to bring the kids.
Absolutely.
TVs everywhere, all the sports you could ever want on the TVs. Come check it out here at Scoreboards.
That's where we are. This is Tigers Roar. We'll be back with more, so stay with us. Please.
Remember what these trips were like before you put the screens in the back seats?
I don't want to think about it.
Are we there yet? I'm hungry. Where are we?
That game should keep them occupied.
Oh, yeah!
Dad.
Oh, in your face!
Don't make me get back there.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Jordy Heltberg for Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market at 12451 Old Jefferson Highway. Chairman's Reserve steaks, their pork, their chicken, their seafood, top of the line. Primo barbecue pits, Icy Tech coolers. They can go anywhere and cater anything for you. Go to 751-7665 to call Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market, where good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market.
Eagle 98.1 with Condon Uncensored in the morning. Southern Rock with Michelle Southern to head home. Your home for LSU sports. Welcome to Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
Welcome back, Tigers Roar. He's Jonathan Poche. I'm Jordy Helpert. You saw LSU basketball on the screen, and 6 players. You see scoreboards on the screen. Now you see us on the screen. There you go. 6 LSU basketball players entered the NBA draft portal, as we like to call it. 2 have stayed, Naz Reid and Tremont Waters, and 4, as we expected, came back. So Skylar Mays, Javonte Smart, Emmett Williams, and Marlon Taylor coming back to the fray. So that's great. You got Watford coming in as a recruit. You got a couple of other recruits. Darius Days is coming back. So you've got something to build upon, which I'm excited about.
It's great news for LSU basketball team. There was a lot of speculation about who was going to recruit kids. I mean, who was going to be out there. Will Wade had the suspension for like 40-something days. Benford went to TCU. So to get these 4 guys coming back is really replacing a lot of recruits that might have came if Will Wade had been in this show the entire time. But
funny you mentioned Tony Benford going to TCU. Will Wade announced today that Tasman Mitchell,
that's right,
moving up from the grad assistant role to a full-time assistant. So the Denham Springs native, congratulations to Taz. He'll be out there with recruiting responsibilities, coaching responsibilities. So he's paid his dues. He's been there a couple of years now, and he's been elevated. So congratulations to him.
Oh, well said. Well said. Tasman Mitchell, hey, that's a good face to have for recruiting.
Yeah,
I played
absolutely.
in the big league for a long time.
Absolutely. Now, back to Destin, Florida. Will Wade met the media and talked for a long time. We've got a couple of clips here for you. First, talking about some mistakes that he made.
This will be his opening statements, right? This is what he opened up with to the reporters, how he felt like he could have did some things differently. And I want to let you hear from Coach Will Wade himself. Don't take it from us. You can hear from the man himself. Here is Coach Will Wade from Destin, Florida in SEC spring meetings.
It's great to see everyone. Great to be here in Destin. Obviously, this has been a difficult couple months for LSU and for our basketball program. As the leader of the basketball program, I'm here today to start the process of rebuilding trust and and building a trust. I think certainly as I've had time to reflect since since I was out for 40 days or so, there were some mistakes that I made. But ever since that, when I was able to sit down and talk with LSU and meet with LSU and meet with the NCAA, I was fully cooperative. I disclosed everything and answered any and all questions completely and fully with LSU and with the NCAA. That ultimately led to my reinstatement as the head coach at LSU. And what was said in those meetings is private and confidential. That was how the meeting was set up. So I can't get into a lot of the details or any of the details in that meeting. But the meeting was very, very thorough and covered any and all topics from various media reports to any and all aspects of our program. It was a wide-ranging meeting that covered anything. There was no limit of scope on that meeting. Now, after that meeting and after my reinstatement, obviously my name came up again in the latest testimony at the latest trial. And like I said, I'm not going to get into addressing every media report, everything that's come out, because some of them are just so far out there that doesn't even warrant me giving credence to it by responding. But I will say this on the latest reports that was not covered with my meeting with LSU. It's absolutely false. It did not happen. The latest report that came out of the latest trial. So I'm very proud to be the basketball coach at LSU. I'm very confident with how we've run our basketball program, and I look forward to starting my third season at LSU and trying to lead LSU back to the NCAA tournament and a back-to-back Southeastern Conference championship.
Will, what's your definition of mistakes?
That was Will Wade's opening comments. Here's my thought on this. Okay, does he owe the media an explanation on anything?
They feel he does.
But does he owe them anything?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
He talked to his employer.
Exactly.
And his employer had their employer, the NCAA, in the room. They talked. After that meeting, LSU reinstated Will Wade. Right. What else needs? I'm not here to say that Will Wade has done nothing wrong, or
right.
I'm just saying, what does he owe anyone else?
Right, you really have to tip your hat to Will Wade about keeping his cool, answering all these questions that just get repeated to him over and over again about all the allegations. And like you said, he answered his employer's questions, all of them, and that's why he got reinstated, period.
And national media members are blasting him by move on to something else.
Right.
Move on to this is closed for right now, unless something else comes out. But is the NCAA going to continue to investigate this? It seems like they've already done their investigation. Will Wade's the coach. Let's move on. But we have some more comments from the coach.
We do. I want to go back quickly and just talk about something he said in his opening comments, how he's rebuilding the trust. It's a process. He understands that.
Yeah.
That's really important.
And that is important. And for some people, maybe they will never trust him again. Others will be on the bandwagon and look, he starts winning basketball games again, everything's fine. Everything is forgotten.
Right.
Believe me. So rebuilding trust, I think the most important thing he has to build trust with is his boss. And that's Scott Woodward, his athletic director. And he admits that that is an ongoing daily basis. It's not about talking the talk. It's about, quote, walking the walk and doing what you say you're going to do. He also brought up the fact that, look, let's be honest. He came in there and LSU said, look, it's like the kid that throws a rock through the window and tells Dad, I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, you did.
Right.
And we're going to sit down and have a little come to Jesus talk about this. And LSU said, here's what we're going to do. You either take it or we'll find somebody else.
Right.
And Will Wade said, I'll take it. He amended his contract.
Exactly.
They both showed a commitment to one another.
Right.
And now we move on. Now we move on.
Yeah, I think the amending of his contract really spoke to how he feels it will play out in the future. 'Cause, I mean,
and it spoke about LSU's seriousness on this matter. Enough is enough.
Right.
We don't want to hear this program brought up in front of the NCAA or any more things. And look, Will Wade wouldn't have signed it if he knew there was something else out there, because then he gets nothing.
Right.
So very important. Well, what's the next sound?
We do have some more sound from Coach Will Wade talking about the mistakes he made, how he feels about it, how it affected him, and also how he felt watching the NCAA tournament while the Tigers are playing and he was at home.
Brutal.
Here's some more from head coach Will Wade from the SEC spring meetings from Destin, Florida.
You know, I think as you look back, as a basketball coach, you've got to make a lot of decisions, and you have to make decisions quickly and process a lot of information quickly. And certainly, as I look back, that Friday where we were going to meet with the administration, I think I made a poor decision in how I handled that. If I could go back and do it again, I would have, had taken the meeting and been a little bit more forceful in getting that meeting. Because what happened after that is, anytime you get lawyers involved in things get drawn out. At that point, it was more face-to-face interaction on things, and so anytime after that the lawyers got involved, it took it out almost 40 days. I don't know the exact time period, but it took it out a very, very long time. So certainly I wish, looking back on things, we could have gotten in a room together a lot quicker than we did, and I think that was my mistake, and certainly I respect LSU's decision based on that. But I think that was, a mistake that I made, and something that I did in haste as I was trying to make a quick decision. I think, I have a sign on our practice facility wall that says, "Chance favors the aggressor." And so we've obviously played very aggressively on the court, and we've been very aggressive in recruiting. I think I've come off as a little bit brash, to be honest, and I think that's probably rubbed some folks the wrong way. And that's my fault. That's my fault. And so, will it change the way we recruit? I mean, we're still going to recruit the best players we can to LSU, but I need to make sure that I'm confident about what we're doing, and I'm confident about what we're selling. But there's a line that you can't get up to, and I think maybe sometimes I've gotten to that point where it's a little bit too brash. But we're going to continue to be aggressive. We're going to continue to recruit the best players that we can recruit, and we're excited about where we're going. I'm not a very good fan. It was tough. it was very, very tough to watch our guys. I was very proud of our guys. I mean, they were resilient all year. We'd had, quite a few things, if you followed us, happen, all season that were very, very tough to deal with. And I was just very proud of our guys and very pleased with how they responded. I was proud of my coaching staff and how they held everything together, which was not an easy feat and not easy to do. But it was difficult. But like I said earlier with Ron's question, I put myself in that situation. You got to understand that. I put myself in that situation, and so you got to live with it. But I was what you would think. I was yelling at the TV and didn't throw my remote, but I was certainly very, very into the games and into the into it to try to help our guys and see our guys advance. But I was disappointed too that the because of my situation, it took away from some of the great things our team did, some of the great things our players did, some of the great players that we had. The story was more about me sometimes than it was about our players, and we have phenomenal players, phenomenal student athletes. So that was very difficult.
Will, since we last.
All right, welcome back. So there's Will Wade talking about a multitude of things. He seemed very contrite. As to your point, he seemed very calm, answered questions to the best of ability. Of course, he relied on the private, confidential statement of the meeting between LSU, and he readily admitted that he wished he had gone and done it before the Vanderbilt game and gotten everything cleared and done out of the way. He did mention attorneys, but look, that's water under the bridge. Can't bring it back. It's over and done with. And again, LSU gets players back. Taz Mitchell is now a new assistant coach, and we have seen now at the SEC meetings LSU's basketball schedule, not the dates, but they'll play home and home with Alabama, with Texas A&M, with Ole Miss, with Florida. Kentucky will come to the Pete Maravich Assembly Center this year, so that's always good. So basketball taking center stage during baseball season, and usually where football rules the roost, but basketball's coming into play a little bit.
I mean, kind of strange, but I mean, considering they won the SEC title, went 16-2 in the SEC last year. I mean, they deserve it. They deserve to be center stage whenever they get accolades, because I mean, didn't lose on the road last year, which is amazing.
Yes. So, good news. Time to put that behind you. Will Wade, the coach, moving on. They'll be going to Spain in the fall to kind of bond and get together and play, and we'll see how. I've been told that there's a couple of 7-footers out there in the JUCO land that LSU's in on, and don't be surprised if they get one of those pretty darn soon. They need a rim protector to take the place of what Cavell Bigby Williams brought. Watford will take the place of what Nazarene did on a different scale. They're going to miss Tremont Waters. Very underrated college basketball guard. He did so many things in crucial situations. So will Skylar Mays run the point? Will Javonte Smart run the point? Is there enough outside shooting on this club to be dangerous? Those are the questions that I have.
Right. Do you trust Javonte Smart with the ball during the clutch times of the game? Skylar Mays, all the experience. He's a leader. Clutch at the free throw line, like leading LSU all-time free throw history.
Got to shoot from outside, though. Got to take advantage of that three-point line.
Need some three-point shooters. Yeah, Wofford has been able to shoot the ball well from deep. In high school, will it translate to college?
Absolutely.
A big difference.
Well said. All right, we'll take a quick time out here from Scoreboard's Grill and Catering. This is Tigers Roar. It's a Wednesday. We've got bike night and live music on Thursday, karaoke on Friday. Sunday is barbecue and block party.
That's right. Barbecue starts at 11 o'clock in the morning, and then it translates to that block party, 4 o'clock in the evening. If you want a parking spot, show up early. I say it every week because it gets packed here on a Sunday afternoon.
It really does. He's Jonathan Poche. I'm Jordy Helpert. We'll be back with more here on Tigers Roar.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, HardiePlank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's honored to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Remember the smell of vinyl? What happened to all your old records? Lost in a move? Thrown out by the ex? Get them back. Classic Vinyl's record store and collectibles, 13847 Coursey, where you can find all old vinyl, all genres of music, rock, country, blues, and R&B. Classic Vinyls and collectibles behind Mary Lee Donuts and Coursey. If they don't have it, they'll get it. Look for them on Facebook. Classic Vinyls, sponsors of Classic Vinyls Classic Rock Night Thursdays at Scoreboards on Coursey.
The Acord Eye Clinic has moved to a new office, just minutes from the old office at 8280 YMCA Plaza Drive, Building 9. Dr. Shonda Acord and her staff welcome patients of all ages, including children and adults. They have a wide variety of frames and sunglasses, including Maui Jim. The Acord Eye Clinic features modern instruments and state-of-the-art technology, including digital retinal scanning with Optomap, hard-to-fit contact lenses, as well as professional care and service. Open Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. Call for an appointment, 225-767-EYES, and visit the website, visionsource-br.com. The Acord Eye Clinic looks forward to seeing you.
Hey, it's Mike Benson from Rocket Work, inviting you to Classic Vinyls Classic Rock Night at Scoreboards on Coursey, with my band Studio 4 as the house band, playing from 8 till 9 every Thursday, then a guest spot from area talent directly after. You can submit your demo to Mike at eagle981.com for a chance to perform. Join us for Studio 4's Classic Vinyls Jam Night every Thursday from Scoreboards on Coursey, brought to you by Classic Vinyl Records and Eagle 98.1.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
Welcome back. Tigers Roar from Scoreboards Grill and Catering. Jonathan Poche. I'm Jordy Hultberg. It's a pleasure to welcome, as per the norm, our weekly visit with TigerBait.com, the head man, Mr. Mike Scarborough. Mike, happy, hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend, my friend. How are you?
I did, and I hope you guys did as well.
All right, let's talk about this now. They had the Country Superfest going on, and LSU had one of the top offensive linemen in the country in for a visit to listen to some country music. How did it go with Paris Johnson Jr. out of Ohio?
I think it went very well. Now, I don't think he's going to flip from Ohio State to LSU, but I think the LSU coaching staff should be commended for getting him in. You know, it was last April that they brought in Anthony Bradford from Michigan. They ended up with him a month later. And look, we've seen the LSU coaching staff have a high degree of success with kids that maybe they're on the outside looking in with, or they've got some work to do, and then, you know, and they keep grinding away and they pull something in. Urban Meyer is no longer the head coach at Ohio State. What kind of bumpy ride might the new staff had? I don't think it hurts that Greg Studraw is his position coach at Ohio State. I think you can, you know, I like Coach Studraw, but I think you can negatively recruit if you wanted to. Probably the other schools in the Big Ten can probably do that on LSU's behalf. But I think, you know, the scuttlebutt has been that the coaches, staff probably feel that, you know, they're right there in the thick of it, a two-team race, 50-50.
Really?
Yeah. But when the kid goes home to Ohio State and you had him in early in the spring for a visit, I almost feel like you had to be ahead. Like if you need to be able to say 60-40 LSU, and the kid's going back home to Ohio, and he's got to lay low because everybody around him is Buckeye fans, and you know, you want a scenario like that.
But you know, maybe previous staffs would have said, you know what, Ohio State, let's not waste our recruiting budget on a kid like that. But this staff, they don't care. They just go get them.
No. And like I said, I'm throwing a lot of bouquets their way. I think this is the best offseason I've seen at LSU as far as bringing in high-profile, national-caliber recruits from out of state in, getting them in for spring. Kids who've come in from long distances to see LSU. And, you know, and I keep bringing up Anthony Bradford, who I've got a story up on the front page of Tiger Bait. You know, the SEC is a draw as well. And it's certainly LSU is a national brand, but LSU really has not capitalized on high school prospects from coast to coast who view the SEC as a much better stepping stone to the NFL than other conferences. So I think that's a big part of it. Bradford, you know, told me that if it wasn't LSU, it was going to be Alabama or Georgia. So, and you know, it's been well documented. Big Ten states up there hemorrhaging high-profile football players to the south, you know, and so I think that's a big part of it.
And to your point, Coach O said, he's mentioned Cardell Thomas many times. Can't wait till Cardell gets in. But he also mentioned Bradford as well. So I think they're counting on both of those kids to come in, show what they can do, and provide some quality depth, if not some playing time.
Yeah, I mean, Bradford flat out told me that he's coming in and he plans to win the starting job. You know, but that's very difficult and to say, and you know, for a freshman offensive lineman to do that. But I think he thinks he can come in and beat out Adrian McGee and play.
That's the attitude you got to have as a player, though, right? I mean, you got to be confident in your skills.
Yeah. And look, he's, you know, on signing day, he was listed at 367 in his LSU bio. He said he finished last season at 355, and he's down to 340, 345. The staff wants him at 335. You know, I don't know if there's how accurate the weights are being told. But we know Cardell Thomas has certainly gotten lean with the tuna fish and grapefruit diet.
Yeah, he's lost about 50 pounds, according to reports. So
yeah, and look, there was a spell last season where people were questioning, you know, him being in shape and this and that. And that kid got put on that diet, and he took to it. And I mean, who knows what he's going to end up being next week? He might show up at 318 pounds.
I'd like to lose 10 pounds. What is that diet? Tuna fish and what is it?
Yeah, he's eating tuna fish right out of the can.
See, I can't do that, Mike. That's
No mayo, no relish.
Yeah, I used to do that in my weightlifting days, but he's eating the dry packet stuff.
No, that's just nasty. But hey, do whatever it takes. So we'll see. Monday starts school again, so that means all the freshmen are reporting, and they will get under the strength and conditioning program that Tommy Moffitt runs. So John Emery will be in there. All the prize recruits are coming, so that'll be an interesting time to see how quickly they adapt and adjust to the speed, the strength, the emotions of the college football world.
Yeah, and I've talked to Tyrion, I've talked to Cardell, Bradford, Parrish, and others, and they all have a little nervous excitement. The fear of the unknown, not knowing what to expect.
Been there, done that a long time ago, but I can tell you the butterflies are huge because you don't know what to expect, and you've gone from the top dog at your school, all of a sudden, there's a lot of top dogs out here.
Yeah, and of course, when they get there, they call it involuntary workouts, which aren't so involuntary, are they?
No.
Right, better be there.
But they work out with graduate assistants, and so there's that period where they get there next week and they start going to class, take 1 or 2 summer school courses, and work out. And that's one thing. The butterflies from that'll go over, but then it'll start back all over again once it starts to tick down to the start of fall camp and the varsity get there and then the pads come on. But I think there's some legit kids in this class, and we talked about Tyrion Davis last week. We all know the running backs have a real good shot at playing time, but of course, Stingley's been on campus since January.
Davis seems to have the body type that can make the transition a little bit quicker from high school to college, whereas Emery, do you agree with that, or am I wrong?
Davis versus Emery?
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, Emery's pretty stacked too.
Okay.
I think Emery got a lot of the publicity because he was a little bit more flashier of a runner. But Tyrion Davis is kind of that, that throwback, hard-nosed, 225-pound running back that's kind of straight ahead. I don't
Good to have both.
I don't know, Spencer Ware, Charles Scott. He's just that. He's that kind of beast.
The first half of Charles Scott, because he didn't get to play in the second half in that game. I'll never forget that as long as I live. Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com, kind enough to join us. Meanwhile, the current freshman will be reporting, but there's still a lot of things going on to keep the coaching staff busy. They've got camps galore coming up.
Yeah, you got an offensive line, defensive line camp on Saturday, skills camp on Sunday. I'm not sure what kind of turnout they're going to have for that. Look, I do know that the coaches are really having a heck of a time getting kids to come to camp. These kids are getting pulled from all different avenues, particularly skilled players that are involved with track and 7-on-7. Look, Jaquelin Roy was on campus today from U-High. I bet you they talked to him about trying to get him to camp on Saturday morning. Jacobian Guillory from Alexandria told me that he would be at the camp on Saturday. Cedric Van Pran, the offensive line center from Warren Easton, will be there Saturday. So I'm looking forward to seeing them, and I'm sure they're going to get enough guys there. But then you got another offensive lineman camp on the 15th of June, and then you got your big high school camp June 20th through the 22nd. So the next 3 weeks are absolutely stacked.
Are you concerned that it's difficult to get kids to come to camp? And why is that?
Yeah, but I just think there's a real camp fatigue. I don't think it's as bad for linemen, but your defensive backs and your wide receivers, your high-profile kids. How many of those kids also participate in their high school track team?
Right.
How many of them, were being pulled to every junior day if they were uncommitted in spring games? Proms. Then they're in private leagues, 7-on-7 teams, that those guys go out of town on weekends.
Sometimes you just need a break, right?
So by the time June gets there and then of course you've got, Under Armour, you've got the opening, you've got rivals camps. And if they're a kid that's a Division I prospect, they're expected to go to all those things. and be driven there by parents, it really gets wearing on the kids. So by the time June rolls around, they're exhausted.
TJ Finley on the board for LSU from Ponchatoula. Isn't he invited to one of the premier passing skill sets?
Yes, he got an invite to the Elite 11 last week, and I'm fired up for him. He's really getting better and better every time you see him. I know he had a good performance at the Pylon 7-on-7 this past weekend.
Where do they have that? Where do they have the Open? Is that up in Oregon?
I think the last one was in Atlanta, right?
Oh, okay. Where is that Elite 11 camp?
Now, I know we've got the final opening in Dallas. Is that connected at that same event? I know we were trying to get some of our guys on our F5 platform to cover.
Okay.
I thought it was Dallas.
Oh, I don't know. I have no clue. I'm going to take your word. You're the recruiting guru. I have no concept. Will Wade address the media? We're talking with Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com, in Destin, Florida. What was your... I say Will Wade owes nothing to anyone. He talked to his boss, who had their boss in the room with the NCAA, and after that meeting, he was reinstated. I don't believe he owes anyone any explanation. Do you?
No, I just,
I mean, you're in the media business.
He's Jordy, he's really in a spot because, when I saw him surface at the girls softball regional last Sunday, I'm like, okay, he's kind of, is he starting to come out a little bit more? It's like,
yeah.
I know the negative recruiting has been paralyzing. You just wonder, how does he get beyond, you got to believe he's avoiding public appearances, all these TAF tour stops. Is he going to be at any of them? Normally he would have been.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I understand. I understand completely.
When does he? What has to happen for him to be the Will Wade free indefinite suspension?
I think he will, in my personal opinion, I think he'll, when it's time for basketball season, I think Will Wade will be up front row center stage. Until then, I think he's going to keep his nose to the grindstone. I think he's going to go out and recruit like crazy and keep a low profile. And I don't mind him doing it. I think that's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, I know, but we were actually spoiled. How many media opportunities and local people did he turn down to come on your show or interview?
He always answered when I asked, and I out of deference to him and knowing what he's going through, I defer to not ask him. So we'll see. We'll see.
But I also think his personality and that has made it, that part is what made him so effective. I don't know. I from a selfish standpoint, I hope it goes back to that.
Right. I mean,
I think in due time he will.
I mean, the brashness, the cockiness, the whatever you want to call it, that he had, really. I mean, that was a turn on for a lot of kids. They want to play for a guy like that.
He admitted that he came across as that, and he said that was his fault. I think when the heat of the battle begins, you'll see Will Wade being Will Wade. I think his demeanor away from that 94 by 50 foot arena will be different. I think it will be.
I mean, going yesterday in Destin, I mean, what was the lead up to that like? I mean, how much was he dreading that?
Dreading it, and I'm sure he was coached up a little bit. Not that he needs coaching up. I'm sure that it was drilled. This is what to expect. And look, if they ask you any particulars, just say, hey, that was a private, confidential situation, and because of what I said to LSU and the NCAA, after that I was reinstated.
But is it still that same mode when you've got SAC basketball media days in the fall? Is he beyond that at that point? Or
I believe we'll go down the same path.
Yeah.
I really do. I really do. The fact that he came out and vehemently denied the situation of the $300,000 situation with Naz Reid, that wasn't on a tape. That was from someone else's mouth. I think he said, hey, no. Vehemently deny that. There was no such thing. I think he'll go down that road, but I don't think we'll ever hear exactly what transpired inside that room with Joe Oliva, LSU's attorneys, the NCAA. I don't think we'll ever hear it.
Yeah, I just, what is the timetable for him going to those type of gatherings, and that's not on the minds of the media, and it's strictly talking about basketball?
Maybe LSU and or the NCAA said, hey, no comments on this stuff. Don't mention it or else. Yeah. We don't know. It wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
Wouldn't surprise me in the least. Any word on basketball recruiting? I'm told there's a couple of 7-foot JUCOs out there that LSU is in on, and they feel like they have a good opportunity to get 1 or 2 of them. I don't know for sure, but that's what I've been told.
Yeah, I've heard that, and then when I reached out, and it's a whole lot of. I know they're working on it.
Okay.
It's like you've had 2 kids recently that surfaced. The last one being Dante. Up in Kansas, Wichita, that a couple of kids that were talking about reclassifying from 20 to 19. Mm-hmm. Got word yesterday that no, he's sticking with 20. But you're also battling Kansas and Kentucky and other schools like that for him. I've got it pretty darn confirmed that the negative recruiting has been absolutely
I can imagine.
Charts.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I don't think Will Wade's liked.
We'll see what he can bring in.
I don't think Will Wade's liked by many people across the country. I think he is very well liked by many in this circle of where it matters, and that's at LSU.
Yes.
So, anything else out there we need to know about?
Well,
come on, Mike.
Look, this is going to be you got 15 commitments right now in football.
Right.
And I think, could there be one of the defensive linemen that come off the board, whether it's Guillory or Roy? Guillory had said he was going to wait until August after saying for months he would do it in May. Could something Saturday happen? That might be something to watch out for. But I think maybe the storyline might be when we look back a month from now that they start to get a bunch of 2021 kids on the board. I think that's probably going to be the biggest story, because you're 15 commits now for 20. I think the 21 kids, I think they're going to start dropping real soon.
Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com. Do you foresee, as has been the norm of late, utilizing that early signing period? Do you see a majority of these commitments signing on the early line? If LSU has a great season and does what we think they could possibly do, I would foresee a lot of these kids signing early. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't see where these kids are holding out and waiting to the second period. I think it's going to be like last December. I mean, what was the number? 21?
Something like that. Yeah. Right. That'd be great.
I don't think that that's going to change.
All right.
I think the number will be just as big.
Okay. TigerBait.com. What's going on?
There to be a defensive lineman or an offensive lineman on signing day that you're holding your breath on.
I got you. Okay. Sometimes we get them, sometimes we don't. We've been down that road many a year. We shall see. TigerBait.com, always busy. Regionals, camps, a lot of recruiting news. What else we got going on?
That's it. Our message board really is taking off, and LSU fans, we really want you to come subscribe to us. We'd love to have you as a subscriber. Go to TigerBait.com. $1 gets you the site for a month. We've got our rate of holding on to our $1 folks is through the roof. People get on the site and absolutely love it. So check us out at TigerBait.com.
You give them a taste of the appetizer, and then they come back for the main course, or they can't wait for the dessert. How about that, Michael?
Most definitely.
Thank you for your time as always, buddy. Have a great week.
All right, talk next week. Thanks.
All right, there you go. So, I think we covered it all. So let's take a break. And when we come back, we will
talk about some baseball.
Absolutely. Regional.
That's
Friday. Baseball at the box.
Not only the Tigers, but the Jaguars.
The Jags heading to Stark Vegas.
That's right.
We'll talk about that and more. He's Jonathan. I'm Jordy. This is Tigers Roar from Scoreboards Grilling and Catering on Coursey Boulevard.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hubby. Can't wait for tonight. Where are we meeting?
Tonight? Date night? Oh. Find sushi restaurant.
Let's try wasabi sushi.
Route to sushi.
The destination is on your left.
Play our song.
Pioneer in-dash systems with Apple CarPlay. Get yours installed today at your local Mesa retailer.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hey, it's Mike Benson from Rock at Work, inviting you to Classic Vinyls Classic Rock Night at Scoreboards on Coursey, with my band Studio 4 as the house band, playing from 8 till 9 every Thursday, then a guest spot from area talent directly after. You can submit your demo to Mike at eagle981.com for a chance to perform. Join us for Studio 4's Classic Vinyls Jam Night every Thursday from Scoreboards on Coursey, brought to you by Classic Vinyl Records and Eagle 98.1.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Welcome back, Tigers Roar Scoreboards Grill and Catering, where Thursday night, very special bike night with all kinds of fun ideas and fun things for everyone involved. Friday, karaoke. Saturday, we're open at 11 o'clock, as we are each and every day. And then Sunday is the barbecue, which leads into the block party. We've got live music. We've got sporting events all across the board. You want to watch the Baton Rouge Regional? You can come right here to Scoreboard. Stay out of the heat. Come on inside and eat, drink, be merry, and watch the Tigers try to advance to a Super Regional.
Get some of that cold beer that's serving behind the bar.
It is cold.
Watch that Super Regional.
I could use one right now.
Hey.
I can't do that. I'm a professional. Maybe afterwards.
That's
Just
right.
one.
That's
Just
right.
one. Speaking of regionals.
That's correct.
Let's take a look at what's on tap for the LSU Tigers as it all gets underway on Friday. The first game of the day will be at 12 noon as the 2 seed Arizona State will take on the 3-seeded Southern Miss Ball Club. And then at 6 o'clock at night, LSU will try to seek revenge from the 2012 Super Regional loss to Stony Brook. The object is to stay on the winner's bracket side of things. You don't want to come through the loser bracket side.
2012 seems like such a long time ago, but look at some of the names on that team. Mason Katz, Jacoby Jones, Tyler Moore. I mean, these guys that I remember playing vividly took that first game in the Super Regional in extra innings. So, I mean, it was neck and neck.
Stony Brook was good.
Stony Brook had more guys drafted on that team than LSU did.
Yeah, about 7 of them.
It was like a coming out party for the Seawolves.
7 of them drafted, and they went on into the College World Series and fared pretty well there. I think LSU, as did all the fans, go, Stony Brook, come on.
Right.
Stony Brook, what is that? Not anymore. Right. So it's not the same Stony Brook team as before. It's not the same LSU team as before. And we'll find out, is it going to be Eric Hill on the mound to start things off? Is it going to be Landon Marceau? Is it going to be Cole Henry? And with a rested bullpen and the depth of that bullpen, just give me 4 innings. Give me 4 or 5 innings at the most, and let's go from there.
I know you meant Eric Walker.
Eric Walker, what did I say?
Eric Hill.
Eric Hill. We win.
Juking folks.
You buy a car, too, from him. Eric Walker, not Jaden Hill.
Little combo.
Eric Walker,
That's right.
Yes.
We'll see who it is. And look, Eric Walker, a lot of experience. He did very well in the postseason last year before he got hurt.
Yeah.
And look,
been to the World Series, so he's. I think Paul, if I had to guess, wants to get a veteran out there because it's a nerve-wracking scenario, and then let the freshmen settle in and go from there. Although you're going to be playing, in all likelihood, you're going to be playing one of the best home run hitting teams in the country. Both of those schools, Southern Miss and Arizona State, can take it yard. And I talked with Ben McDonald. You get to end of May, June, Baton Rouge, the heat, the humidity, and that ball flies out of the box.
Great point. Landon Marceau does throw the ball stiff, but relies a lot on that curveball, too. You elevate curveballs, that's how they go out.
I know this is Tigers Roar, but we got to give a shout out to the Southern Jags. They won the SWAC tournament just convincingly. They get the automatic bid into the NCAA tournament, and they're heading to Starkville, Mississippi.
There you go, Stark Vegas. You see it right there on the graphic. We'll face off against Mississippi State on Friday in the first game of that regional. You also see Central Michigan and the Miami Hurricanes rounding out the regional. Best of luck to the Southern Jaguars. Coach Eric Jackson had an outstanding season, well-deserved. Would have been nice to see him in Baton Rouge, but look, it'd have been tough for me.
I think they would much rather be anywhere. They need to experience the travel and the fun of going on the road. It's a tough place, but what the heck? Why not? And I heard Roman Bakes is looking for a contract and an extension and a pay raise for his coach.
I think he deserves it. He's done an outstanding job.
Look, it's hard to fill the shoes of a legend, and he has done the job replacing Roger Cador, who's did such a masterful job for all those years, and he's really been terrific.
Well said. It was an uphill battle filling those shoes, but he's done an outstanding job just in 2 years. I mean, what a turnaround he's had.
Roger's got some big puppies, too. He got some big dogs.
The tallest coach in Baton Rouge, they used to call him.
I am telling you. I'm glad you're my friend, Roger. All right, let's take a timeout. So we wish the Tigers and the Jags the very, very best of luck. McNeese State also in the tournament as well. So Justin Hill and company, good luck to them as well as representing our great state of Louisiana in college baseball and the NCAA tournament. We'll take a timeout here. When we come back, we've got some Saints OTAs. We'll hear from some of them as well. Stay with us. This is Tigers Roar. Scoreboards, Grill and Catering on Coursey Boulevard. Jonathan Poche. I'm Jordy Helperg. We'll be right back.
We've been fighting the war on drugs for a long time. We answer the phone 24/7, 365 days a year. On a busy night, we answer hundreds of calls. This war on drugs needs our intervention.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has helped people struggling with drugs and alcohol.
When the phone rings, we help people when they need it the most. When we get a caller into treatment, it feels right. It feels good. It's a blessing.
If you're struggling, drinking, using, and need to get clean, don't suffer alone in silence. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Our people understand, and many are also in recovery. Call for support and strength. You can call for someone who can't or isn't willing. It's an act of love. Together we can help you beat this thing and erase addiction from your vocabulary once and for all.
Call 800-383-8177, 800-383-8177.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Eagle 98.1 with Condon Uncensored in the morning. Southern Rock with Michelle Southern to head home. Your home for LSU sports. Welcome to Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For Total Pest Control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
The Acord Eye Clinic has moved to a new office, just minutes from the old office at 8280 YMCA Plaza Drive, Building 9. Dr. Shonda Acord and her staff welcome patients of all ages, including children and adults. They have a wide variety of frames and sunglasses, including Maui Jim. The Acord Eye Clinic features modern instruments and state-of-the-art technology, including digital retinal scanning with Optomap, hard-to-fit contact lenses, as well as professional care and service. Open Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. Call for an appointment, 225-767-EYES, and visit the website, visionsource-br.com. The Acord Eye Clinic looks forward to seeing you.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Ding ding. Nah, your boy said you too old for me. I might be old, but I'm tough.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Welcome back. This is Tigers Roar from Scoreboards Grill and Catering. He is Jonathan Poche. I'm Jordy Helperg. And the Saints made some news, a little OTAs, a chance to finally see some of the new acquisitions come on board and team up offensively and defensively for a team that's it's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah, might not be a bigger addition than a tight end, Jared Cook from the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
Really think that he's going to open up the Saints offense. He really specializes in getting down the field. He can run. Coach Sean Payton said the best thing he does is run after the catch.
Yes, catch it first and then run. Drew Brees will be the guy throwing to his new tight end, Jared Cook, and the two teamed up together to talk about the beginning of what we hope will be a flourishing season together.
Really, really early in this process, but so far, how do you feel comfortable and are you liking what you're seeing?
I feel good. Glad to be here. Just getting the playbook down, getting to know everybody, trying to get some chemistry with you, and just keeping things pushing. But I feel pretty good.
From what you see so far, is it more terminology, or is that pretty much the thing? I mean, you're a veteran, so you've seen a lot.
Yeah, I think a lot of the terminology is similar. But I think it's just more getting a rapport with Drew and getting his chemistry down and understand how they run things here and how they actually like it.
Jared, your first impression of Drew Brees at this point? I'm guessing you've been watching him for a while. What do you think being out here?
nothing's changed. I mean, he's a GOAT. He's advanced in what he does, and he's typical in the way he likes things. He's a great quarterback, and that's what I've always thought.
From your standpoint, what does he do that makes him special? What is special from the way you view him?
I just think he's very detail-oriented, and he takes the little things and strives to be great at them. He always he's very particular in how he likes his routes, where he wants you to be, and some indicators that he likes on the field. So I think it's just paying attention to that.
You had an option. What did you like about this offense, would you say, that you thought maybe fit what you do?
It's always been a very tight end friendly offense, and I just thought this was a great place for me to come and extend my career and come and shine for a little bit.
And Jared, I think Coach Payton said that he was specifically looking forward to having, Michael on one side and you on the other. Is that something that really appealed to you when you looked at it?
Yeah, absolutely. Having Mike and Alvin as pretty much the 1-2 combo last year, I felt that I can come in and kind of help Mike, and at the same time him help me, and we can relieve some pressure off of each other and make this a high-powered offense once again this year. But having Mike on the other side of the field, I think is going to be very, opening for us.
What do you think you can bring to this offense?
Just another piece in the middle of the field, a big target, and somewhere, a person that can get down the field to where Drew can find me. Cool.
Thank you, Jared. What are your impressions of Jared Cook been so far?
Really good. Really impressed. He comes across as a real savvy veteran, a real pro. I'd heard a lot of good things about him before he got here, but he's certainly impressed these first couple days. He's got a great feel for the game, and I think he's going to fit very well into our offense and what we do.
So last year's motto was proven right. What's this year's motto?
Get better. Just take it one day at a time. I think we're all excited to get back to work. I'm excited to see what how the free agent acquisitions will fit in, and then also the rookies.
How has Cook changed things a little bit for the offense? Maybe how is he different than maybe what you've had the last couple of years?
Well, we're only 3 days into it, right? But I think he's certainly a guy who can run. He's got great length, so he's got a big catch radius. So. You feel confident with those 50-50 balls, you feel like there's a lot of places where you can throw it, where he can get it, and the other guy can't. So anytime you have a target like that, you feel like that's a good matchup. Obviously a lot of attention goes to Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara, and so I think having a weapon like that, in addition to the other pieces that we have as well, I think that they complement each other really, really well.
Drew, along the lines of what's the message when 2 seasons in a row end the way they did, but especially last season, do you concentrate more on embracing it and channeling it in a certain way, or trying to, that was last year, we're not even going to talk about it?
Well, you always try to take your experiences from the year before and turn it into something positive, right? Use it as momentum, use it as motivation, chip on your shoulder, unfinished business, whatever you want to term it, according to what happened the year before. And that's, there's always something to prove, right? And bottom line is every team, there's only one team that's walking away happy, right? Everybody else feels like they fell off the mountain and they're sitting down at the bottom. Now, here goes the climb, right? One step at a time. And so I'm not thinking about February of 2020 right now. That's a long way away, right? And that's an overwhelming feeling if you decide to look to there. So we're just focused on the here and now, staying in the moment, enjoying getting a chance to be out here and work with a lot of these young guys, work with a lot of these new guys like Jared Cook and others, and just watching it all come together again.
Drew, how long do you think it'll take? How long do you think it'll take to adjust not having Max?
Obviously Max was a tremendous leader and a guy that you don't just snap your fingers and replace. I feel like we've got 3 guys that certainly have the opportunity to be at that position, and that's what OTAs and minicamp and training camp is for, right? Is to develop those guys and see how that's going to work. But obviously I love our O-line as a unit, and I think you've seen over the last 2 years just how they work together and how at times that mixes and matches, right? With guys playing different positions, and sometimes for a short period of time, sometimes for a longer period of time, but they're well coached. Obviously, I think we all love our scheme, and we feel like that allows us to do certain things and be very flexible. That puts those guys in positions to succeed, but also requires them to really be able to work together.
When you have 3 guys, like you say, are capable of start, how can you mesh? And is it you got to divide your time, figure it out?
Well, here's the thing. For example, quarterback center exchange, which is the period that we start the day with, right? When we walk out here, special teams goes, and quarterback centers, we go down here, and it's just rep after rep, right, with each guy, and you're calling pass plays, you're calling run plays, you're mixing up the cadence, you're just, so I just make my way down the line. It could be the 4th or 5th string guy. I want to take snaps with him, right? Because my mindset is no matter who's in there, I got to be able to get the snap from them, right? I got to be able to find that rhythm with them, and we have to be able to execute. So regardless of who it is at the end, we'll have time on task together.
Drew, how strange is it when you're out there stretching and marking and not training and dancing and all that stuff?
Yeah. Man, I'm thankful that I had a chance to play with a guy like that. For 8 years, he was all heart and soul. He was a guy that we loved being around. He's a guy who I look forward to seeing too, the most coming into the facility every day, right? So I think you're always disappointed when all of a sudden you're not together anymore. But it's not the first time, right? That guys retire or guys move on or whatever it might be, and I think you just have to be appreciative for the time that you had together.
Is it hard to replace a guy like that in the locker room?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And again, there's all different personalities, and every year is a new team, right? And circumstances change for guys, right? Some guys are entering into their prime, some guys are getting a little bit older, some guys are on their way out, some guys are, it's just, so you just, that evolves, but I can say this, Latavius Murray's been great. Jared Cook's been great. These are guys that have obviously had success other places and now have come here and have a great opportunity here. And so all those guys will mesh well.
How do you see Latavius complementing Alvin? And how will he be different in any way than what Mark did when he was with you guys?
Thunder and lightning. That's always, look around the league, every team, you have that running back room that typically brings different skill sets and you're able to mix and match. And I think our offense has proven that, we do a lot of things with 2 backs in the game. And so it just gives us a lot of flexibility, gives a lot for the defense to have to worry about and game plan for. And again, we're only 3 days into it, but I'm impressed with what I've seen with him as well.
How did you go about reviewing last year's performance? And is there any interesting takeaways from that you think will carry into this year? It was a different kind of year for you, but still record-setting and highly efficient, so forth.
Yeah, I'm always trying to find ways to improve, and I think the exciting part about each offseason is that, number one, it really is starting over. I approach the playbook as if I'm seeing it for the first time. And so each pass concept, even though it may be something that I've run for 15 years, I'm going to go through it like I'm learning it day one. And, where are my eyes? What's my footwork like? Does that footwork adjust? Do I need to speed it up versus this or that? And I go through all the scenarios again just to reinforce so that I can be as efficient as possible when it comes to those things. New players, right? Young guys, you begin to see, okay, this year, because we have these guys, maybe we're going to be doing a little bit more of this. And so that's just something that I'm really going to need to work on with them this year that maybe I haven't had to in the past. So that's the way I approach it. I try to take a day one approach. Like, man, I'm just seeing this concept for the first time. I'm going to study it like that. I'm working with these guys for the first time. I've got to get them on the same page and go back to square one with them too.
So there we hope is the next big quarterback, tight end, pass catch combination. We also heard from head coach Sean Payton.
That's right, Sean Payton. Also talking about Jared Cook and his very early impressions of the new tight end for the Saints. Here's head coach Sean Payton from the Saints OTAs late last week.
Any questions? We just finished our third OTA.
Early impressions of Jared Cook?
Look, what he did in Oakland was similar to a lot of the things we do formationally. But he's smart and he's got range. You see his route savviness and his ability to get in and out of cuts. The best thing he does is run after the catch. It's hard to measure that out here when we're not tackling, but he's real good that way.
And just his years in the league, I'm guessing when you talk to him, it's different than talking, especially coming off a rookie minicamp. I mean, he's been around a while, right?
He has. So he's been utilized in different ways. He's explosive. He runs extremely well. I think he's in good shape. So, it's the first time that he and Drew are working together, and they'll get a ton of reps and ton of work in between now and when we get started in the end of July.
Your thoughts on the tweak to the new replay rule?
Well, they didn't tweak it yesterday. What they did yesterday was they allowed the competition committee in the upcoming weeks, after we begin to watch some of these videos, all the teams' head coaches are going to basically see the same OPI, DPI video. So what was voted on yesterday was the ability to tweak, which simply would put it in the coach's hands inside of 2 minutes rather than replay's hands.
Sean, but then with that being said, with the helmet to helmet, do you think that'll be the same or that'll be addressed?
Nothing's changed relative to helmet to helmet. The vote yesterday was just simply, if they want to take OPI, DPI, the concern is that there's 2 or 3 or 4 stoppages in the last 2 minutes of a half or a game because of maybe the contact that was seen. Would we rather have the coach utilize the challenge flag as opposed to the replay upstairs? That was the vote yesterday was simply to allow the committee to change it in the next coming weeks from one to the other. So it's not going away. It's just a matter of how we're going to handle the last 2 minutes.
So you think the competition committee will address before the season starts as far as missed calls on helmet to helmet, like what happened in the Dallas game?
Yeah, that's already been looked at, watched, addressed, discussed. That's already taken place. How do you correct those things? But that's not something we're discussing right now.
What's it like having Traven back, as part of the practice team after his injury last season?
Well, he's healthy. He's had a whole off season to get healthy. I think he's in better shape. He's a little stronger in his lower body. So it's good to have him out here so we can get an evaluation and begin to work with him.
What did you see from Sylvester Williams a couple weeks ago against us?
So, look, we felt inside. There's a presence. We like his size. I think we're bigger, in the defensive front than we were a year ago this time. So, I thought he handled those 3 days pretty well.
What have you seen from Cyril Grayson so far? That's the wide receiver from LSU.
Yeah, he's a guy that can run exceptionally well. He's a little bit limited relative to the experience he's had, but he's been in a few camps now. So I think the first thing is speed. He'll get a chance to look at him in the return game as well. But he is someone that runs exceptionally well. He seemed to pick things up. Again, he's been with a few offenses already now, and I think this is his third in this league. So we'll take a look at him.
The speed. I mean, and I know he was a track guy.
Yeah.
Would you call it like elite speed even for this level?
Well, it would probably be a little too early to say, but he runs well, which in our league is important. He runs exceptionally well. A guy like that, you need to see him in pads too, though. All of these guys. But he's behind. Just when you look at snaps played prior to coming into this league, and yet there's a trait there that other teams have seen, and we too have seen the same thing, so we'll look at them.
What's the hardest part of adjusting to the new guys and making adjustments after you're getting them acclimated to your program for the veterans?
Well, look, as you install each day, you know, it's hard to evaluate a player when he doesn't know what to do, and so knowing what to do is the starting point. You know, it's almost, you know, it's a prerequisite. So, look, they're not going to learn it right away, but it's the process of learning, you know, what we're doing and then how we're coaching it. They're all lifting and running right now. You know, some of them are in better shape than others, but again, it's May.
Do you find yourself scrutinizing the center quarterback chemistry more than you might have done in the last couple of years?
Well, I'm sure we will. I think, look, you know, Nick is a guy that has played center and started for Minnesota and got experience. You know, certainly McCoy's someone, you know, who's played a long time, be it at the college level. So, but yeah, you got to work through some of those things anytime you make a change at that position.
Sean, as far as the return game, like punt return, have you addressed that twofold, not only with individual player, but maybe scheme or what?
Yeah, look, right now, there's only so much you're doing, you know, so we have candidates. And you know, we get a chance to work on the technique of what we're trying to do relative to rush, relative to our return game. You know, Darren and those guys are working on, you know, what are the strengths of our players, and yet, man, it's an area where there's a little bit of meat left on the bone. I think we can improve, and I'm sure that Darren, Phil, and those guys would agree. So, but the early steps in the process right now are just the individual technique involved and hold up technique involved and what you're trying to do relative to the return game.
All right, there's the latest on the New Orleans Saints, the latest here at Scoreboards Grill and Catering. Tomorrow's a big, big night, bike night here at Scoreboards. You can see right there everything you need to know. $17 for beer buckets, Bud Light, Miller Lite, dogs and beer. This Thursday night, live music, got the whole charade.
Don't forget to stop by Scoreboards and Baton Rouge Harley-Davidson to pick up your tickets for all those door prizes. Great stuff going on, bike night and live music here tomorrow, Thursday night, Scoreboards on Coursey Boulevard.
Hope you enjoyed it half as much as we did bringing it to you. For Jonathan Poche, I'm Jordy Helper. Thanks for watching Tigers Roar here on I heard the wrong.
Taste the feeling.